All right, 7th graders, lesson 69, scientific notation. We've been working on this the past few days in your assignments and lessons. When we write a number in scientific notation, we usually put the decimal point just to the right of the first digit. Okay, so if I have something like 4,600 times 10 to the 5th, I have to rewrite that I need a decimal point, and my decimal should always come after the first number, so it should be right there. So what I would have is I'd have to move it 1, 2, 3 to get back to this original mark. So I need to increase this number by 3. So 4.6 times 10, and 5 plus 3 will be 8. So that would be my new way of writing that number. So we always got to have the decimal right after the first digit. It's okay if we have something like 4.006. The decimal just always has to be right here after the first digit. And then we'd say 10, and in this case to the 3 if I wanted to get the decimal back over here after the 6. Okay. Example 1, write 25 times 10 to the negative 5th in scientific notation. Well, I don't have a decimal in the 25, so I've got to add a decimal in there, and that means I moved it one place. So I'm going to go 2.5 times 10. Now, it's always hard to remember if I need to make this number go up or down. So one way that I've explained it to students is, let's make an arrow. I move the decimal that direction. Okay, the decimal was over here. We moved it over here, so I moved the decimal. So I would say from this little corner spot right here, I moved the arrow away. Therefore, I'm going to draw another arrow next to the exponent that also is going away from that dot. And that number is going up. So that means my number has to go up. It has to increase. Now, remember, it's a negative. So a negative number to increase actually will be getting a little bit smaller. So I'm going to make this, because I moved it one decimal place right here, I got to make this number one number bigger, because this arrow is going up, so I got to make it a bigger number. Negative 5 will become a negative 4. That's a bigger number. Even though it's negative, it's closer to 0. It's a higher number. So remembering these arrows here, if we're going away from that dot on the bottom, then we need to go away from the dot on the top, and we'll see what happens in the opposite here next. Example 2 says write 0.25 times 10, and this is 4 to the 4th power. Write that in scientific notation. Again, my problem is I need a decimal here, not need it to be after the first whole number that's not a 0. So I'm going to have to move that decimal place here one place. So again, if I put a little dot here, I moved my decimal to get closer to that dot. So now this arrow next to my exponent also has to point to the dot, and that number is going to have to decrease then. So I'm going to say 2.5. That's where my new decimal is there, in between the 2 and the 5, times 10. And because this arrow is going down, this number has to decrease. So instead of being 4, it's going to decrease. And I only moved it one place, so this number only has to decrease one place. So that will be a 3. Okay? So remembering these arrows can help us. Go ahead and draw those on your paper, on your test, anything to help you answer those problems. That's it for today. You can get started on your lesson practice.